Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video talking about, that's right, you guessed it, Mr. Pretty Boy himself. Zhao Yun takes the stage straight and center. I don't know what that means, but we're here anyway. You guys saw the title. We're talking about if I was building Dynasty Warriors 10 or even any Dynasty Warriors in general and I was going to build Zhao Yun's story, how would I do that? Now I don't want to go too deep into like how I would make the game and stuff like that because the video is only about Zhao Yun. I can make a separate video on how I make Dynasty Warriors 10 because I've been thinking about it and how I would approach it, and that's kind of what I'm using to formulate a lot of the ideas I'm going to go through with Zhao Yun. So with that being said, let's say on Zhao Yun, we're going to go through this. How would I build his story? How would I make it more interesting? Obviously, I would give him the basic stuff. He should have his straightforward path, right? Everything that he's supposed to do, he does it. You got that option, it's there, it's done. But depending on how, the game is built, there could be different ways the character goes or moments that you don't really get to see in the Dynasty Warriors game. Starting off with when he's in Changshan Commandery, the place that he was born, before he goes to Gangzhou-Zan. What was that like? Because I think before or when he joins Gangzhou-Zan, he's a little older. He's like maybe late teens, early 20s. And I think it happened a little bit after the Yellow Turban Rebellion. So maybe there's a Yellow Turban stage. Some Yellow Turbans invade the area. Zhao Yun pops in, saves the day, shows off his secret martial arts skills that's been training all along, and people swoon over him. And then you have that slow walk in of the administrator being like, Zhao Yun, it is time, my young one, to go to your destiny. And then you go ahead and move on to the next thing. So I would have him start again in that spot and then go to Gangzhou-Zan. And then once he gets to Gangzhou-Zan, we play here a little bit. How does that look? What is the relationship like? Zhao Yun was said to have, participated in a couple battles with him. What was that like? Maybe have a couple stages or two with him doing that. And then, of course, he meets Liu Bei at some point. Now, this is the part where it gets fun to play with. Now, there's a couple things that Zhao Yun can do. He could go with Liu Bei right away, which he does not do traditionally, right? Or he can forego that entire thing and stay with Gangzhou-Zan. I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I don't know if Zhao Yun was part of the battle that Gangzhou-Zan lost to Yuan Shao. The Battle of Yijing. I don't know if Zhao Yun was there. I don't think he was, though. At least from what I've read, from what I've seen, I don't think he was part of that battle. So maybe he is part of that battle. You go a little further and you decide to stick with Gangzhou-Zan. They defeat the forces of Yuan Shao, or maybe even lose, depending on how the game is built. And then from there, the player gets to make a choice. You stay with Gangzhou-Zan, right? And then, of course, a whole new hypothetical branch comes out. Or you go and help Liu Bei, which in turn also gives a little bit of a hypotheticalness because technically he shouldn't have been there for that battle, I think, as well. And then the player makes a choice based on what you choose is what you get coming up. So say you stay with Gangzhou-Zan a little longer. Zhao Yun is there to, I say he's a pretty intelligent person. He's able to give him advice on how to approach the encroaching forces of Yuan Shao, the growing fame and power that Yuan Shao has. Maybe Zhao Yun has a moment where he convinces Gangzhou-Zan to set up an alliance with Cao Cao, or, before the Battle of Guandu, because that's about to happen, like, right after that battle. So maybe they do that. Maybe Zhao Yun and Cao Cao, or, Shao Yun, they have, like, a little moment together, and then they ride off and fight against Yuan Shao, Gangzhou-Zan, Cao Cao. Maybe build a relationship, maybe not. That's another path that could be explored. There's a lot that can be played with that hypothetical with Zhao Yun being a part of Gangzhou-Zan. Now, obviously, if we take the other route and go with Liu Bei, as we always traditionally do, there are different ways to play with it. There are different ways to see how things would go, and trying not to go into how I would build the games, but because I'm trying to build his story for, just hypothetical hearsay, because no way Koei's going to be picking up this idea anytime soon. But let's say whatever the results of your battles are with Liu Bei, you're stuck with them, right? And of course you can bounce out, save all that stuff, right? But let's say you're stuck with him. So let's say you're in a battle with, the Guandu battle, right? So the Guandu battle, Liu Bei is part of Yuan Shao's forces. Most of the time it's him and Zhang Fei fighting. Maybe Zhao Yun's there with him this time. Or I think it also was noted that Liu Bei was trying to convince Zhao Yun to, gather people so they could leave. Maybe Yuan Shao finds out about that and they have to fight against that. Zhao Yun has a little moment there, a little piece of the story depending on how you gather people. Maybe you talk to the wrong person and they snitch on you, right? So little tiny missions like that. But either way, somehow tinkering with that Yuan Shao era that Liu Bei was in, and then kind of moving from there. I don't think Zhao Yun, I wouldn't build a hypothetical serving Yuan Shao kind of thing, because I don't think he would. I don't think that's part of Zhao Yun's character. And then moving into Tao Qian and living under them, maybe a couple rebellion stages for him, something to just build his character. Maybe build some relationship with characters who are there with Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, you know, because Zhao Yun, I think, was like honorably like the 4th member of like the Sworn Brothers and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that would be cool to see those little moments with those characters, even though he does have a good amount with some of them, but just give them a little bit more to play with. So Tao Qian happens, Cao Song dies, Cao Cao attacks Shu province, and they have to leave. And then that's going to eventually lead to the Battle of Changban. So with that being said, now it could be implemented earlier, but I'm going to build it right here for the story for Zhao Yun. Battle of Changban, right? Battle of Changban happens, and there's a couple of other skirmishes before that battle, but the main battle is Changban. So, you know, you have Ado, the rescue, I think that's fine. Maybe there's a moment he sees Cao Cao in the background. There could be a moment like that, he gets surrounded, Cao Cao's like, wow, you're so brave, look at you. And then Zhao Yun's like, yeah, I'm still taking this child, I'm not gonna join you. And then he breaks out and they have a little moment. But the main thing with Changban and changing the story is that what if Liu Bei does get killed? And I think I would do it in Changban, because Changban is a very pivotal battle, and I think obviously if Liu Bei got caught, I mean, he had so many people chasing him down. If he didn't get across that river, he would have been dead, right? So let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say Liu Bei gets killed, and the remaining people are Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, I think Zhuge Liang joined at this point, whoever's left, right? So they all escape. Liu Bei's gone. What does that hypothetical look like, right? That's what I would start to play with. Who becomes the leader, right? Is it Zhao Yun that steps up? I don't think so. It would most likely fall to Guan Yu. Who would leave? Would people leave? Would people dissipate? Would people just carry on in the name of Liu Bei? I think they would. I don't think they would just dissipate right there. They would 100% be deflated. Obviously, Liu Shan is a baby at this point. But I think somebody would step up. Probably I would have Guan Yu, and Zhao Yun would continue to push that narrative. Or you could have a completely separate thing where the same thing happens, Liu Bei dies, and maybe Zhao Yun becomes a rogue for a little bit. You know, he goes in, you know, licks his wounds, builds up a small task force, and waits for the perfect moment to try and strike out the people that killed Liu Bei. It doesn't have to be like Cao Cao. It doesn't have to be like Xiahou Dun or somebody big named. It could be a new named character or a group of characters. You know, you just get surrounded and maybe by the order of somebody, right? The order of somebody, you know, Liu Bei gets killed or shot with an arrow or something not like that. I don't think I would do like the whole like capture and execution thing. I think I would have him like die by arrow or by, you know, sword fight. Because for me, it'd be less in your face than capturing Liu Bei, sitting him down, then cutting his head off in front of Zhao Yun, which was way more deliberate, which I wouldn't do like that. So I would have him die, and then Zhao Yun would put a marker on whoever is responsible, and you have this separate rogue path. So either you can choose to go to the rogue side, right? And depending on what happens, you don't, because at this point there's a lot of other characters that are just free agents or people in general just around, right? So depending on after you choose the rogue path, who do you run into? What are the conversations that you have that maybe lead you into having them join you? You know, just like an Empire, except a little bit more intricate than just a couple of like, you know, recruit button. You want to join? Yeah, cool. You know, so you have this rogue option. You have, you know, the ability to build your own little task force, whatever it may be, in order to complete your goal of getting justice for the one that destroyed the character that was closest to Zhao Yun, the person that he believed was going to bring light to the world, and that got taken away because of somebody, right? And then you have the other path where he continues along with the quote-unquote Shu faction, with Liu Bei's old members, and they have their own little hypothetical on what to do next. Without Liu Bei, it's kind of hard to justify the whole Liu Zhang thing. And then, you know, you could have a choice to either stay there or push it and do what Liu Bei normally did and take down Liu Zhang and get Yi province and all that. And then from there, have it carry on, quote-unquote, normally, right? Zhao Yun maybe runs into Ma Chao at some point. They have a conversation. He joins because Zhao Yun is, you know, part of this thing. Guan Yu's not going to be in Jing province because maybe he's leading the campaign now. He's leading the forces, or Zhuge Liang is the leader. Whatever it may be, right? Somebody is the leader, which is going to it's just going to change the dynamic of how the game is played, how the entire Shu faction would feel, and Zhao Yun's story specifically. But you have that rogue option. You have this quote-unquote normal option. And right when you get to the end of quote-unquote Zhao Yun's story, right? So around 229 or whatever the event is for signaling Zhao Yun's death, depending on what the user has done up until that point, the choices they made, maybe the people they lost, the battles they lost, whatever it may be. By the time they get there, that would decide whether or not Zhao Yun dies like he's supposed to, right? He just can't go on any longer. They can't find a doctor to heal him. Or he can go on a little longer. He recovers. He gets a few more years in him, whatever it may be. And he has a few more extra stages that potentially lead him to either unifying the land completely like they did in the older games, or just doing the best he could in terms of unification. Maybe, you know, they completely take down Wei and it's Shu and Wu, because I think they did that in some of the hypotheticals, or something like that. But completely different things, right? Depending on what you pick. Even with the rogue thing, right? You get to 229 as a rogue, and do you pass away, or do you live and see where everybody else went? What happened to Guan Yu after that? What happened to the whole team? Like, where did everybody go, right? Did everybody dissipate? Did Zhang Fei and Guan Yu become their own thing? You know, join the barbarians or something like that. That would just depend on how the, you know, obviously the game was built for the other characters, but for Zhao Yun himself, I think that's how that would be my outline for now, right? Of course, we're only talking about one character in a game where I'm not talking about how the game works or anything like that, just hypotheticals. I don't think I would give him anything unrealistic. No serving Yuan Shao, no serving Cao Cao. Zhao Yun, I don't think would serve anybody else he does not deem benevolent. If I went back again, the only people I can think of is because he said Gung Zun was a benevolent ruler, so he went and joined him. And then obviously running into Liu Bei, the man of benevolence himself, he's going to stay with him. But anybody else, I can't really see it. Maybe Liu Zhang, but even then, you know, he was said not to be the greatest ruler. But I just can't see him serving Wu or Wei, or, you know, like Liu Biao or anything like that. I don't see him doing that. Zhang Lu, no, I just don't see him going to serve Ma Teng. Don't see him doing that. He would either stay with the people after Liu Bei passed away, or he moved on to the road. And on top of that, I mean, what would happen if, you know, Guan Yu died early or Zhang Fei died early? You know, how would that affect Zhao Yun? Without going into the mechanics too much, that's the main things that I would say about Zhao Yun's what if story built Dynasty Warriors 10. That's what it would look like, kind of, for me. You know, you follow the basic traction, you do everything right, you got his, you know, his normal thing. But if you don't, or if you try something a little different, you try a different option, what does that lead you to? What does that look like? What does that feel like? You know, even with Gung Zun Zan, let's say he stayed with Gung Zun Zan instead of, you know, just Cao Cao winning Guan Du. It was, you know, Gung Zun Zan helping out, all that, like I said. But Liu Bei goes and does the same thing that he did, right? He became Shu on that bottom left side, and then Liu Bei and, you know, Wu do their famous, you know, battle Chibi, all that stuff, and they do the famous land in two parts where they're trying to push Wei together. And, you know, Zhao Yun's got this moral dilemma. Do you work with Liu Bei, the former person that you looked up to, or do you help Cao Cao, who helped your lord and your kingdom get rid of the biggest threat to your guys' home, right? That would be an interesting moral dilemma based on what the user wants, and whatever you choose, well, obviously they have repercussions, and, you know, each one leads to a different path, and it's just a lot to play with the Dynasty Warriors games, right? And then on top of that, just to wrap up the video, during all of this story, although I kind of just went off of mainly how his story would go, but obviously it would be fulfilled with relationships, depending on which way you went. The rogue thing could be actual playable characters in the game. It could be made up people, you know, because it's hypothetical, right? It's already made up anyway, right? Hypothetical people that he meets on his road out, his venture, his meditating, whatever's built for him during that rogue story, and then seeing those relationships develop and build, and, you know, it'd just be a nice, fun, intricate story. I think he should have that intricate of the story along with a lot of other characters from the series. If I was building it, it wouldn't be every person that would be like this. It would be a lot of just like the main one, like the main characters, and you know, the ones that aren't quote-unquote main characters. They would still have their legends, they would still have their moments and stuff, they just wouldn't be as long. But anyway, I'm rambling. That's all I have today. Zhao Yun, What If, Dynasty Warriors 10. Hope you all enjoyed it. You know, just another Zhao Yun video, because we all love him, maybe. He's a great character. It's a great game, and, you know, with the right amount of passion, they could really build a very nice RPG game. They can have every character have all their moments and look great, and, you know, I know it's a lot of work because there's a lot of characters now, but I really hope they do, because it's one of my favorite games. You guys watching, I know it's one of your favorites. That's why you guys are watching these videos, right? A super niche video game on YouTube. You're not watching these videos if you're not a fan, right? You cannot be a fan and watch like the IGN reviews on when the game comes out, but you're not watching these in-depth analysis, random ass Zhao Yun videos unless you're a fan. So anyway, guys, appreciate you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. How would you build Zhao Yun's story? If you enjoyed it, I would also appreciate a like or subscribe if you guys aren't already, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.